Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. On the Central Coast today, and we are joined by Chris Ungar. He is a member of the San Luis Coastal Unified School District, but he is now president of the California School Boards Association. Yes, I said president.
That's right.
Of the California School Boards Association.
I love to hear you say those words.
Sir, I knew you when.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember when you were running for vice president,
right?
Which is the first step towards the presidency. It's been just a few weeks, I guess.
Yeah,
How's it been?
It's been about a month. You know, it's been great. We had a little bit of a break, of course, after
the holidays.
during the holidays,
right.
But now things are really starting to pick up. And I think the thing that I've really found out about the job is you represent CSBA, and therefore you're representing the 5,000 school board members, 1,000 school districts in California. So, for example,
5,000
school board members. Yeah,
it's
about
you.
5,000 school.
It's
I know.
you.
It's really exciting.
Right.
So. For example, one of the things that I'll be able to do is I get to address groups and talk about the importance of school boards, and I get to talk about the importance of student achievement.
Here's my
which is
question,
great.
if I may.
Yeah, of course.
Does San Luis Coastal, at least the constituents of it, know that one of their school board members is the president of the California School Boards Association?
Yes, I would say the answer is yes.
Okay.
There have been a couple of things that have been put out there about me. There was an article in the local newspaper, and there was a brief announcement on one of our local TV stations as well.
So the word is getting out because look, obviously you're doing this for a whole host of reasons, but it has to be of benefit to your direct constituents. I mean, you know, you're the president of the whole association, but still, you still are in the final analysis on the San Luis Coastal Unified School District.
Exactly. And so one of the things I can do is I bring my experiences as a school board member to the state,
and then back,
and then it comes back.
Right.
So and something that I don't think you and I have ever talked about. I am an inveterate reader, and so. I get to even read lots, even more neat stuff, and it helps frame my thinking, and I can bring it back to my school district, and I think that helps enrich the discussions.
So let's talk about what you read recently, and that I'm sure was the governor's proposed budget.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The governor recently issued his proposed budget, the January version,
budget. Yes, exactly.
2016-17. What's the CSBA think about it?
Well, we're happy about it. And before we talk about that, I just think it's really important. You mentioned it, Brad. It's the January version. So what happens is, of course, the governor introduces his budget in January, and then the legislature works on it, the governor works on it, they look at revenue figures, and then they do something in May called the May revision, and that's really the official time. So we're seeing an overall growth in Proposition 98 money.
Per pupil spending
is up, and that's a really positive thing. You know, we're getting close to 100% funding for LCFF. We've talked about that before. That's the new funding formula, not so new anymore, about 3 years old.
And we've passed pre-recession levels for funding of
We're
K-12.
Close.
We haven't passed it yet. Are you sure?
We're either there this year or we're very close. But I think that's something to remind people of, that even though this has been a great year and revenues continue to increase in California, it's taken us till 2016, from about 2008, to get back to where we were in 2006, 2007, Brad.
Now, part of the reason we've gotten back relatively quickly, I mean, at least relatively recently, is we had something called Proposition 30, which passed in 2012. And that provides a revenue stream from two different sources: sales tax and a tax on the wealthy.
Right.
The tax on the sales tax is due to expire this year.
Yes.
Tax on the wealthy in 3 years. Has the CSBA taken a position on that element?
No, we haven't, and we haven't seen what that could look like yet. One thing to keep in mind, it's about $6 billion for schools. It's a lot of money.
Does that include the Prop 30 sales tax?
I believe that's both of them.
So are you concerned that come a year from now, there will be, $3 billion, let's say, will vanish?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. And the governor's budget doesn't talk about a renewal of Prop 30.
Well, he has said he's against.
Right. Now, CTA, California Teachers Association, and SEIU, which is another large union, have come together to support
an extension
of it for the piece that is the income tax portion
on the wealthy.
On the wealthy, exactly, but not the sales tax portion.
But that doesn't expire for 3 years.
Right.
The Prop 30 sales tax expires at the end of this year.
Yeah.
So do we need to fill that hole, or is the economy strong enough?
Well, that hole is projected forward in the governor's budget. So if there's additional funding, it would be on top of what the governor's budget is.
I see. So this budget,
when he's doing the projections,
he presumes the sunsetting of Prop 30 because this is 2016-17.
That's correct. Yeah. So would we miss $6 billion or
$3 billion
or $3 billion? Absolutely. And how do we fill that? That's a really good question. Especially CSBA contends, and I believe we're absolutely accurate with this, that we are shorting California students by between $20 and $40 billion annually, about $3,500 per student, to get us to a college and career ready.
What you're essentially seeking is a bump of about 30%.
Well, we'd like to see that. We think that in order to really achieve adequacy, that's what it would take.
But so let's talk about that.
People need to be able to.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you're seeking a bump of about 30% funding. That would get us towards the top when we compare ourselves to sister states. Wouldn't get us to the top.
Right.
I mean, right now we're doing better. I think we're kind of in the middle. We were at 49th for a while.
We're still in the lowest quintile, is what I understand.
We are?
That's what I understand.
Okay, so. Look, intuitively that feels nice. It feels like, yes, of course, we want to do the best for our children. But 30% is a big number.
It is a big number. It is a big number, and what it would require is revisions to the revenue system in California, is what I believe.
Well, there are discussions about that. State Senator Bob Hertzberg has talked about renewing.
Yes, he has.
Discussions on the question of tax reform. We are so reliant on income tax and capital gains tax. And you said it right there. When we're talking about extending Prop 30, we're only looking at this income tax element.
Right.
And so do you think there is an appetite to really look at reforming our taxing structure?
Is there an appetite for that? That I can't say. Is it needed? Absolutely. And we know that Bob Hertzberg has come out and talked about a sales tax on services, but a lowering of sales tax on other things.
So what he's looking to do, just to be clear, is he would, as you said, include services but flatten it out for everything. So let's say we're at 9% now, maybe it would be at 6%, but more things would be taxed.
Exactly. He makes a compelling case.
Other states have done it, even red states.
So I think the thing that's important to remember about California's revenues is that they're inherently unstable given the tax system we have.
We know that. I mean, we lived it in 2008, 9, 10, 11. We lived it.
Exactly. And when the governor talks about recessionary cycles, economic cycles, he talks about the possibility of a recession. And he continues to talk about that.
So look, Democrats and Republicans both say we need tax reform. You're the president of the CSBA. Can you use that pulpit to really drive this engine?
Well, we are going to be using that pulpit because what we're going to be continuing to talk about is adequacy. And when you talk about adequacy, you've got to talk about revenues. Revenues in California means taxes.
I want to continue this conversation. I'd love to have you back to talk more about the future of education funding. His name is Chris Ungar. He is a member of the school board with San Luis Coastal Unified School District. He is now Mr. President of the California School Boards Association. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're on the Central Coast today, and this is Charter Local Edition.